Rangers are plotting a January transfer shakeup, and the targets are turning heads. A rising Kazakh international, a Scottish wonder kid, and a potential midfield upgrade that could blow Rothwell out the water. But it doesn't stop there. Signed for nearly £10 million, Youssef Chermiti exit clause could be agreed as Rangers set for more backlash. Meanwhile, Danny Rohl's preparations for the weekend clash are rocked by a controversial VAR and referee appointment that's left Ibrox fuming. Strap in, it's transfers, turmoil, and refereeing chaos, and you're going to want to see every second of it. Rangers have stepped into the frame for a bit of a surprise target from the east, and it's turning heads. Talks are reportedly underway between Rangers and Kazakhstan international winger Galymzhan Kenzhebek. Now, you might not have heard his name too often around Ibrox, but this lad's already made 10 appearances for his national side, and at just 22 years of age, he's caught the eye across Europe, from Portugal to Russia, and now it seems right here in Glasgow. Yelemay Seme's wide man was previously linked with Dundee United, but with Rangers entering discussions directly with the player, who by the way is out of contract at the end of the year, it looks like we've leapfrogged the Tanner Dice lot in the queue. And let's be honest, if you're a lad playing your trade in Kazakhstan and you've got to choose between Ibrox and Tanner Dice, it's a bit like choosing between a steak pie and a cold salad. Danny Rohl is clearly wasting no time stamping his mark. The January window hasn't even opened yet, but he's already out there sounding out fresh talent. This one won't cost a transfer fee either, so it could be a tidy bit of business. Kenzhebek scored a brace against Liechtenstein and found the net against Belarus, so he's got an eye for goal. And with pace to burn, he could give our attack some serious width. But here's what I want to ask you. Should Rangers really be spending time chasing a free agent from Kazakhstan when we've still got gaps in the squad that need proven quality? Or is this exactly the kind of hidden gem we need to take us up a level? Rangers are in active talks to sign Kilmarnock's David Watson in the January window, and this isn't just some passing rumor. The boy's admired across Scotland and even down south in the Championship, but it's Rangers who are pushing hardest, and for good reason. Danny Rohl, who's been getting this team ticking again on the pitch, is now eyeing serious upgrades off it, and let's be honest, some of the summer recruits brought in under Russell Martin and rubber-stamped by sporting director Kevin Thelwell haven't exactly lit up Ibrox. One of the names being quietly phased out already is Joe Rothwell, brought in with Premier League credentials, but right now he's contributing less than a tea cake in a snowstorm. Enter David Watson, a Scotland under-21 international, just 20 years old, and already one of the standout performers in the Premiership this season. 3 goals from midfield, relentless in the tackle, and technically sharp. Rohl absolutely loves him, and the stats back it up. More duels won, more tackles, more energy, more presence. He's outperforming Rothwell across the board, and by some distance. Now, Watson's out of contract in the summer, which means Rangers could land him for a cut price in January. Kilmarnock will be desperate not to lose him for free, but they know they're powerless if Rangers get serious. And here's the kicker. He knows the league. There's no adaptation period, no homesickness excuse. This is a lad who can walk into that midfield and challenge the likes of Raskin and Diamande from day one. But while we're talking about Watson coming in, the flip side is Rothwell going out. It's been 8 league matches for the Englishman, no goals, 1 assist, and his off-the-ball work looks like something out of a testimonial match. Rangers have won every game he's not featured in under Rohl. That says it all. Is it time for Rangers to ditch the so-called Premier League pedigree and put full faith in proper Scottish talent like Watson, who actually understands the fight? Or are we just overhyping another decent domestic player who might struggle to cope with the pressure at Ibrox? Youssef Chermiti signed with a great deal of noise, a supposed marquee signing, a bold move to the tune of up to £10 million. And yet here we are, barely halfway through the season, talking about him possibly being shipped out on loan. It's not exactly the fairy tale. Now, let's not pretend the pressure isn't immense at Ibrox. When a young lad walks through those famous doors with a price tag like that, you expect fireworks. But after 13 appearances and just one goal, a tap-in against Kilmarnock, it's been more damp sparkler than Roman candle. Nacho Novo's weighed in, and he hasn't pulled punches. He reckons Chermiti's not worth even £1 million right now, never mind the full 9, and you can see his point. Rangers dropped serious coin on a forward with just 3 senior goals to his name before arriving. That's not just a gamble. That's backing a 3-legged horse in the Grand National. Thelwell, who's already under the cosh for a patchy recruitment record, now finds himself facing more flack. And if Chermiti's loan move to Braga does go through the very team visiting Ibrox in the Europa League, you can imagine the headlines if he shows up in red and white and suddenly remembers how to score. And then there's the mention of Alex Gogic from St Mirren. Novo bizarrely tipped him as someone Rangers should bring in. Now, Gogic is a committed battler, no doubt, but is that the level we're now aiming for, from a £10 million Portuguese international to pinning our hopes on a mid-table enforcer? This situation reeks of mismanagement, spending big on promise instead of proven pedigree, then bailing out at the first sign of trouble. And the real kicker, if Chermiti goes out on loan and lights it up for Braga, Rangers will look like amateurs giving up too early and failing to develop a player they invested so heavily in. Should Rangers cut their losses and offload Chermiti now before his value collapses further? Or would that be yet another embarrassing failure in a long line of transfer disasters that shows we're no longer capable of building a proper title-challenging squad? Rangers are set to face Livingston this Saturday at Ibrox, and instead of the talk being about momentum, tactics, or continuing this winning run under Danny Rohl, it's the name John Beaton making headlines yet again. That's right, Beaton's been appointed as the VAR official for this match. Now, you know the history. This isn't some minor grumble. This is a referee with a track record that would make you wince if you're wearing anything blue. From blatant dives going unpunished to stonewall penalties ignored in cup finals, the man's had more howlers involving Rangers than a pantomime villain. Remember the Scottish Cup final? Extra time. Liam Scales hacks down Václav Cerny. Everyone with eyes sees it's a penalty, except, of course, Beaton. Or go back to the Alfredo Morelos incident in 2019. Even Steven Gerrard claimed Beaton admitted after the match should have been a penalty, but instead gave a free kick outside the box. And just this October, Hibernian's Kieran Dowie dives against Rangers, clear as daylight, and Beaton decides he's got better things to do than apply the rules. Now he's back, not even in the middle this time, but sitting in the VAR booth, ready to cast judgment from his little screen fortress. And here's the thing, Danny Rohl will be absolutely livid. The man is trying to rebuild something here, steady the ship, restore pride and confidence. But how are you supposed to do that when you've got officials like Beaton hanging over you like a bad smell? And let's not forget, Ross Hardy will be the main man on the pitch, but with Beaton watching over it all, influencing the big decisions from behind the scenes, it's like handing a pyromaniac a box of matches and leaving him alone in a fireworks shed. At what point do Rangers say, enough is enough? How many high-profile mistakes, how many match-defining moments need to go the wrong way before someone inside Ibrox stands up and demands accountability? So let me ask you this. Should Rangers officially demand that John Beaton be barred from officiating any of our matches going forward, or are we just giving him even more power by letting him live rent-free in our heads? Like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe for daily Rangers news. Don't miss a thing.